Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to another episode of Bold City Civics. My name is Shelton Hull, and I'm your host. We are joined, as always, by the creator and co-founder of this show, Mr. John Lewis Meeks Jr. Hello.
Greetings and salutations.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in and listening to us. Today, we're going to talk about something that I find really, really interesting. It means a lot to me, and I think a lot of you out there, and also Mr. Meeks. It's the Jacksonville Jazz Festival. Jacksonville Jazz Festival is happening this year from May 26th through the 29th. That's Thursday through Sunday in downtown Jacksonville. They've got two stages set up, one down at Riverfront Park, where the Jacksonville Landing used to be, and the other is down on Bay Street around Bay Street in Maine, kind of down by where the old City Hall Annex and the old Duval County Courthouse used to be, across the street from the Bar District. We've all heard of music festivals. There's so many of them around the country every year, and every different type of music. We've all heard most famously about things like Lollapalooza, Lilith Fair, Coachella, Bonnaroo, Winter Music Festival, Ultra Music Festival, South by Southwest, the CMJ Festival, of course, Woodstock back in the day. This whole concept of going to hang out for a couple of days in a big open field or something like that and listen to a bunch of musicians, often for a very low price. Some of these, you've all been to these festivals, so some of the packages can be very expensive sometimes, but it's still a bargain given how much material you get to sample at one time. And so as that style goes, it really originates with music festivals, particularly in 1955, when a man by the name of George Wein started the Newport Jazz Festival in Newport, Rhode Island. Newport then, a couple of years later, launched the Newport Folk Festival, I believe in 57 or 58, both of which were the site of major innovations in music history, particularly in that 1950s era, as jazz and pop began to really, and folk and such began to really give sway to rock and roll in the national consciousness. Our jazz festival here began in 1980, October 24th, 1980, to be precise. Florida, what used to be called Florida Junior College, FJC, then became Florida Community College of Jacksonville, FCCJ. It's now Florida State College of Jacksonville, FSCJ. From, I believe, 1975 or 76 through 81, they were running their own miniature jazz festival encompassing some of the jazz education that already begun out there at FSCJ as well as at UNF, which is the jazz education program that is most synonymous with Jacksonville. But then by 1980, they launched the first citywide festival. It was called Mayport and All That Jazz. It was held at the Mayport Seawalk Pavilion, which I believe is still there. I may be thinking of the Jack's Beach Pavilion, but that was 1980. The headliner was Dizzy Gillespie, who, of course, the festival over the years has had some of the greatest jazz musicians of all time, particularly in the 1980s and 90s, and especially that first decade of the 80s when a lot of the major figures were still around. Dizzy Gillespie headlined the first festival, and he would later headline two or three more throughout the 1980s. We had Miles Davis, we had Buddy Rich, we had Louis Bellson. Over the years, we've had Roy Haynes, we've had Jimmy Cobb, Dave Brubeck, Joe Lovano, Esperanza Spalding, just countless people. It began in Mayport in 1980. We moved it over to Metropolitan Park in 1981, and that's where the festival was from 1981 through 2000. I've been going since 1991. There have been, since 1980, we've had the festival every year except for four. Two was in 2000, 2001 and 2002. WJCT took over running the festival in 1985, and they ran it up through 2000 when there were financial issues and they had to step away from it. So there was no festival those 2 years. And then the city of Jacksonville picked it back up in 2003. And then there was also 2020, the year of the pandemic. They didn't have it then. Brought it back last year. So I've been to 27 festivals of these festivals in the past 31 years or so. It's always a lot of fun. It was in Metro Park up through 2000, and since about 2003 or so, they've been trying to use the festival more to push downtown. So they set up the stages in different places downtown, and they've experimented with the landing the Riverfront Park as it is now, or the old Jacksonville Landing, Friendship Fountain out on the South Bank, James William Johnson Park, formerly Hemming Park, the Ritz, different places around town. And so it's set up now. Every year it's a little bit different, but every year it's very similar. We're going to have something like 52 hours of live music. You've got two stages, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., three straight nights. So that's, yeah, a whole lot of music, and it's all for free. The jazz piano competition, which is at the Florida Theater that Thursday night, that's also for free. It's a really good thing. Tonight, this year's festival is headlined on Friday night by Herbie Hancock. He's playing on Friday night, followed by that night. You'll also be able to see LPT at Underbelly. You'll be able to see the Raisin Cake Orchestra at the Volstead. Saturday night is headlined by Robert Glasper. And then you'll also have Crescendo Amelia Big Band over at Underbelly that night. I'll be hosting, actually emceeing on one of the festival stages down on Bay Street from 4 p.m. to about 11 p.m. on Saturday. If you happen to be listening to this and you're out at the festival then or any time, because I'll be out there all weekend, make sure you reach out to me, reach out to Mr. Meeks and say hello. We'd love to see you and talk to you. And it's free. It's open air. Almost all the festival. It's family friendly. You can bring your kid. You can bring older people. I will admit parking will be a challenge when you get down there. If you live in Springfield, Riverside, North Side, San Marco, whatever, you'd probably be better off taking an Uber or whatever. But once you're down there, it's great. It's a really good time. Saturday night we've got the Jazz After Dark, or the Jazz Jam session, which is going to be in that little Vistar Breezeway right down from Estrella Cochina on, what is that, Forsyth? Is that Forsyth? No, Bay Street. Yeah, once again, Bay Street and Bay and Laura Street. So that'll be a lot of fun. Jazz After Dark is a thing that, the festival itself ends about 11 o'clock each night, but last call is 2 p.m. So from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., Jazz After Dark is designed to keep attendees down there and enjoying what the festival has to offer. You can go to the different bars, clubs, restaurants. They'll have all types of music going on that's kind of related to the Jazz Festival theme. Lots of merchandising, and it's a really good time. One of the handful of things in Jacksonville that I always recommend that everyone come out and take a sample of, and if you have friends that are coming into town or want to come into town to visit or something like that, the Jacksonville Jazz Festival always offers a really great opportunity to show people this community when it's really at its best, with the lineup of national and international level talent and a whole bunch of quality local people here. And it's part of a long tradition of jazz music education and music education in general in this community, whether from middle school up through high school, college, on to the pros. If you have kids that want to be musicians, or if you want to be musicians yourselves, you have all those resources available to you here in Northeast Florida. And there are a lot of people from Northeast Florida that are active, working professionally in the music business, all over this country and in, several countries around the world. And your support helps with that, as does your support of this program. Once again, this is Bold City Civics. My name is Shelton Hull. This is Mr. John Lewis Meeks Jr., our co-founder and co-host.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, audience. You can also, all of the YouTube, all your normal podcast platforms, we're always here for you. Reach out, any ideas, suggestions, it's always appreciated. Thank you.